Hi, what I have done this morning is I have done a vitamin E oil, almond oil and vitamin E on my hair, and it is so soft, unbelievably soft. I am also going to be making some clove oil. Now, I've been diagnosed with gingivitis, and gingivitis is where your gums are pulling away from your teeth and you have those big pockets of space where bacteria can get in, and it causes problems. Now, mine could very well be from 47 years of smoking. I no longer smoke. I do not wish to smoke. It's been, I think, 8 years since I smoked last. I wish I had thought about that when I first picked up that cigarette, but I didn't. But it could also be because I have an amalgam filling in the back that I can't get taken out because I don't have dental care where I am in Canada. They say we do, but it is provided by a third party, and so I have a hard time. And I'm ex-military, so I should be getting onto the veterans help, but I can't. I can't seem to access it. I can't seem to get a hold of anyone. So you know what? I got to do what I got to do, right? So I'm making my own clove oil. I use essential oils for a lot of my treatment. I also make oregano oil, and it's simple. It's very truly simple. So I have cloves. I absolutely love the smell of cloves. They are very microbial. So they will literally, they're amazing to clean the air, to get rid of bacteria, right? So, and to stimulate the gums. And it's important that I stimulate my gums so that my gums are getting that fresh flow of blood and oxygen, and so they're healthy, right? So they're healthy, and then that's going to help me hang on to my teeth. And I've never had an issue with my teeth my whole life. Never had a cavity, nothing. I have one filling from a cracked tooth that I had while I was in the military. I had an accident as a young woman, and I cracked the tooth. And so they put a filling in there. They put a filling in, and it's been in for over 10 years. Amalgam fillings are supposed to be taken out 10 years after, and mine was not. Okay, and I'm 64 now, and it was put in when I was like 18. So just be aware of that. Anyway, so what I do is I have two oils. Now, anytime that you're using clove and you're using it to massage into the gums, okay, what you need to do is you need to mix it with a carrier oil. Now, I'm just going to show you how I do it because I've already got one that's made. Okay, now I saved these little opaque bottles from other essential oils that I've purchased over the years. So I save them so I can make my own. So what I do is I take, if I'm using oregano, okay, now oregano, you put the spice oregano in the bottle, and then you fill it up with either olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, or I've been using castor oil because castor oil has a tendency to shrink the gums, right? And I want to shrink the gums to my teeth. So what I do is I put castor oil, a little bit of organic hexane-free castor oil into a bottle with the oregano spice, and then I leave it. And I let it basically kind of like I don't know if you would call it ferment, but it sits in there, and then the goodness of the oregano comes out and goes into the oil, right? So then what I do, instead of, getting little flakes of oregano stuck in my teeth, I have got many of these coffee filters, and they have the very, very fine mesh. Now, I have one to filter my water and one to filter my oil. Okay, and so what I do is I take the oregano and I pour it into the filter, and I let the filter grab onto the oregano, and then I just have the oregano infused oil. And I take a little bit and I rub it on my gums. So I'm going to show you how I do it. Okay, so I'm going to make the clove oil. And what I'm going to do is I have one of these opaque bottles. I have it cleaned out, it's rinsed, and it's I do it in hot water so that everything is like clean as a whistle. And then what I do is I take a couple of the cloves. I have to try to show you. So I don't need that many. So I'm going to put about 6 cloves in the bottle. Now these cloves, I always keep cloves on hand. I have cloves in the cupboard at all times. I use it for everything. I use it for cleansing the air. If there is, I have neighbors that smoke, and I'm a non-smoker, and so they're not supposed to. It's a non-smoking building, but they do. They do. And so I cleanse the air that I get, from opening the door and things like that, and you get a whiff of their cigarette smoke, which is toxic to me. And so, I boil some clove water, and the vapors will actually clean the air. So I use that. So I've put some cloves in. You won't be able to see it. And I'm going to use castor oil. I'm not going to use the extra virgin olive oil because I'm running out. So I'm going to fill it up maybe halfway with castor oil. You don't need a lot. Okay. And I keep my castor oil in one of my extra virgin olive oil bottles. I save them, and I fill this up continually with castor oil. Okay, so, all right, so I put the cloves in, and I have filled it halfway. Well, you can kind of see. If I put a light behind it, you can see it. So I fill it up halfway, and the cloves are in there. Then I'm going to cover it up. I'm going to give it a shake. And then I'm going to let it sit. I let it sit in the cupboard. Like, it'll sit in my cupboard for, I think the last time I left it was about a week. I left it for a week. So I think, it might maybe 3-4 days for you if you wanted to give it a shot. But I leave it in for a week. And literally the cloves will the goodness from the cloves, okay, the oil will actually turn like a greenish color, and then that's how you know that the cloves have actually infused into the oil. So that's what I do, and that's it. That's all I do. There, you can see it. And that's all I do. So I already have a bottle here that has the cloves in it that's been sitting for, I keep them full at all times, and so this one's been in the cupboard for maybe a month. Okay, so I keep them in for a long time. I'm noticing that my eyebrows seem they're really coming in good. And I was using the castor oil on my eyebrows, and I have eyebrows now. Now I might have drawn them in a little bit dark. Well, I just used that what is it called? I use like eyebrow brush. And I literally comb them up, and I'm finding that, like, look at them. They're amazing. They're amazing. Anyway, so let's get back to the castor oil. So the castor oil has been in the cupboard for months because I keep it full all the time. So now I have to drain it, right? So I'm going to drain it. I'm going to show you how I drain it, if I can. You got to find something to drain it into that's not going to, okay, here. I have this little dish. I'm going to put the filter on top, and I'm literally going to open up the bottle, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it into the filter. Now there's no filter on the bottom, so I have to kind of turn it to the side. So I'm going to have to, I don't know, maybe I could do it here. Let's see if I can show you here. Okay, so I literally take it, and can you see that? Okay, and I'm going to pour it into the bottle. It's hard to show you. You can see it dripping. Anyway, so that's what I do. And I pour it in. And what happens is the cloves, it's really hard because I'm not like a camera tech here, right? I'm not like IT tech. I don't know this stuff. Anyway, what happens is the cloves will literally swell up. They will swell up, and they will all that goodness from the cloves will infuse into the oil, but the cloves themselves will swell up, and that's when you know that the cloves it's time to change the cloves out, right? So that also happens with the oregano oil. Also. Okay, so now what I do is I basically just take the clove oil and I rub it on my gums. And what it does, it stimulates the gums. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I do that. Okay, so I've got it in another bottle. I drained it, I put it into another bottle, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my finger in. I'm going to get some on my finger. And massage my gums. And it has a very spicy taste. It's so sad because I've always had good teeth, always had good teeth. It's heartbreaking, it's really heartbreaking. And that's it. So I do have some teeth where the gum has receded quite bad, and I was terrified that I was going to lose those teeth. However, I was paying for my own dental, and it got to a point where I just couldn't afford it anymore. So there are many ways that you can get gingivitis. One can be from smoking, which apparently I smoked for 47 years, and so apparently that's where mine came from. But I'm kind of thinking I have an amalgamate filling, and that amalgamate filling has caused a lot of havoc in my life. I haven't been able to get it removed, and so I was paying for my own dental care, but I don't have the funds to keep doing that. It's expensive even to get a cleaning. So I was paying for my own cleaning. In Canada, where I am, we're supposed to have dental care as a senior. Well, you know what? That dental care comes through a third party, and that third party makes it so difficult to get the funding for the cleaning, and even extractions are not covered. Like, ridiculous rules are put in place, and it's paid out by a third party who, by the way, makes it so long for the dentists to get their money that dentists are pulling away from providing care for anyone who has that dental coverage, right? So it's crazy, absolutely crazy. Anyway, let's get back to the oil pulling. So I do oil pulling with coconut oil all the time, every night. I don't brush my teeth with it. I do oil pulling. I also use the carrier oil for the clove oil, and I showed you how I did that. Put cloves in a bottle. I put in whatever carrier oil I'm using. Today it's castor oil. And the reason why is because castor oil shrinks my teeth, my gums to my teeth. But the cloves will stimulate the gums, right? And so they would carry that fresh blood and that oxygen to make sure that you have healthy gums. And so once in a while, I do the clove stimulant on my gums by massaging it. Now, massaging your gums is a good thing to do whether you have gingivitis or you don't. It's important. It's important to massage your body to keep your blood flowing, okay? To keep the oxygen moving to all your organs. And I'm telling you, exercise is top of the list. Okay, so I take the clove oil after I drain it from the cloves, and I leave it there for like a month or so, right? In the cupboard, in a dark space, in the opaque bottle. Now, after, what I do is, all I simply do is I put my finger in, I dip it in the clove oil minus the cloves. I take it out and I rub it on my gums. On both sides. And that stimulates your gums. Now, it's also antimicrobial. So it literally makes or stops the bacteria from building up if you have those big pockets from the gingivitis. So this is something that I do routinely, okay? I have never in my life had a cavity. I still don't have a cavity. I have one filling from a cracked tooth that I had when I was a young woman. I was about 18. I had a car accident. I cracked my tooth, my back tooth, one of my molars. And so they put this massive amalgamate filling in there, which unbeknownst to me, I wasn't even told that it was to be removed 10 years after, and it never was, and I'm 64. So I'm dealing, I believe, with problems from that amalgamate filling that is in my mouth, and I believe it's seeping into my system. Now the clove oil has a very tangy taste, and it literally, I get it on my lips, and it literally feels like it's burning, but it's just stimulating things. So I'm okay with that. I'd rather that and have my teeth than not have my teeth. So there are things that a dentist can do. They can do all sorts of things, periodontal cleaning, and it's a deep cleaning, and that's what they used to do for me when I went into the dentist. But like I said, I can't afford $100 a pop, okay? And it's what, every 3 months, every 4 months? Well, some months I don't have that extra $100, okay? So that was one thing that they said that they can do. I'm going to look it up and tell you what else they do. They can do planing or grinding. Now, I don't want to do any of that crap. So I opted for essential oils, and that's what this is. I make my own essential oils, and I use them, and they've been working, really truthfully been working. So it says there's a lot of science to back the use of essential oils for dental health and other holistic dentistry methods, like oil pulling. Excuse me. Yeah, every once in a while you kind of have to get rid of that excess saliva that builds up if you're using the clove oil, because it does build up, and it's hot. It's very hot, so I have to get it out of my mouth. I have to spit it out. So every once in a while you're going to see it cut across to the sink. Okay, so here it says, in fact, oil pulling with coconut or sesame oil, I've never used sesame oil, has been shown to prevent oral disease, cavities, and even bad breath, which can be linked to other diseases like heart disease, and I have heart issues, right? So it says many essential oils have healing, anti-inflammatory, and antibacterial properties, which makes them effective at aiding the treatment of gum recession problems or other health problems, okay? So the essential oils that you can mix with or can use would be frankincense essential oil, because it's antiseptic properties, so it's a natural solution, it says, to fighting the bacteria in the mouth that can cause plaque, tooth decay, and bad breath. Well, I don't have bad breath. Sage oil, antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. Lemon oil, I didn't know that. It can help prevent receding gums and tooth decay by fighting bacteria. Yarrow essential oil is anti-inflammatory, reduces inflammation. Tea tree oil, I knew about that one. It's expensive though. Eucalyptus oil, peppermint oil, clove oil, that's what I use. Clove oil is known as a disinfectant oil and has long been used to treat many oral diseases. The antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties in clove oil will help fight infections from periodontal disease. And that is what I use. And as I said, I make my own. And that way I know that there's nothing else that is being put into it. It's just cloves and oil, simple as that. So you choose your carrier oil. You choose what oil you're going to use. Sesame oil is one that they said. Frankincense oil is another. Eucalyptus oil. I mean, go back and listen to the videos. Many oils, okay? I choose to use castor oil because I need my teeth to basically kind of shrink or my gums to shrink to my teeth to hold them in my mouth. So I don't seem to have a problem with yellowing of my teeth. I do have a space right here that sometimes when I have the camera, if the camera is at a certain angle, that space will look black, but it's not. Yeah, it's not. It's just because there's a space between my teeth. Now, prior to being in the military, or prior to being a young woman growing up, I didn't have a space in my teeth. You couldn't get a thread in between my teeth. My teeth were tight, and they were white, and they were healthy. And that was back in the day when I was a young child, and we were very, very poor. And so we didn't have the money for the extra sugars and the junk foods and stuff like that, right? And I'll tell you. And I remember taking cod liver oil. The nuns used to give us a spoonful of cod liver oil every single day. Never got sick. I never got sick. I never had a cold, ever, ever. I believe when I was a young child, I had pneumonia. And I was very, very sick, where they actually gave me injections in my rump roast. Yeah, but that's what my mother told me. I mean, I don't know the wherewithal of all that. But after that, when I was a young kid going to school in like grade 1, because we started in grade 1 then, I never got a cold, ever, never got sick. I took cod liver oil every single solitary day, never had a problem. I had the strongest, whitest teeth that you could imagine. And I'm 64 years old, and the only filling I have is that darn amalgamate filling, and I need to get it out, and I can't find anyone who's willing to do it at cost. Nope. It's a big kerfuffle. You got to go for 20 x-rays, and you got to go see the periodontist, and you got to do this, and you got, look at it. I just want, if you can't take the filling out, pull the damn tooth out. But no, they won't do that. No, they won't do that, because it's about this. It's not about this. It's not about me. It's about this. It's about them making the money, and that's the truth. And I don't care who it is watching this video. I don't care if you're a dentist. I don't care if you're saying, oh, I'm not like that. Yeah, you are, because you charge what you need to charge to keep your business. It's a business. It's not about health. It's a business. It's about making the money. And listen, I don't have anything against that. You need to make the money to stay in business. You're a dentist. There's many people that come in to see you, many people that rely on you, and I agree with that, okay? I agree that the cost is equivalent to the need, okay? But it's going over the top, especially for seniors like myself who can't afford it. So this is what I do with the clove oil. This is how I make my clove oil. I always have clove oil in my cupboard. I use it to stimulate the gums. And after I'm done, I will gargle with warm water that has been defluoride. Defluoride? Yeah, that I've boiled and cooled down. Yeah, so, and filtered. Okay, so I will rinse with that, because that clove oil leaves a very hot taste in your mouth, and the saliva that builds up, and I have to spit it out after a while because it just kind of gets like over the top, right? So that's what I do. That's one of the routines that I do for my periodontal disease. Periodontal, gingivitis, whatever. So that is what I do for my gingivitis. That is part of my routine, and it's been working for me, and basically that's all I've got. I have to be creative in my healing process, so I am. So I shall see you on the next video. The good Lord be willing. Bye.